Welcome back to Just the Tip, day 252 of quarantine.
Season 3, episode 1.
We're back. What's happened? So our last episode that we recorded was at the very beginning of quarantine. Now we're at day 252.
And what in the entire fuck has this year been?
Yeah.
2020. Who knew?
So, Ishea, let's recap real quick what 252 days has been like for us.
Yeah, start.
Okay, well, I gained 15 pounds back.
But it's like good weight. There's a lot of quarantine weight gains that have happened, which is better than a quarantine baby, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't feel your bones, and I like you're thick. It's like nice.
Yeah.
You're like beefy.
Yeah, the distribution's not terrible.
No, it's not like pre-quarantine, pre-being vegan when you were like heavier. Yeah. It's like distributed differently.
Yeah. Okay, we got married.
You're still vegan anniversary.
Actually, I'm coming up to my year. Oh, I had my year vegan anniversary. So that's great. I'm still enjoying that. We got married.
Yes, we got married.
On the
Mr. and
beach.
Mrs. On the beach. It actually worked out perfectly, having to change all of our plans. Granted, we ended up having to change our plans every 3 weeks throughout the whole year leading up to our wedding, but it was super small, super close family, friends. My family couldn't be here who are out of state, but we were able to stream it to them, and it felt nice. It worked out great.
Yeah, it was great being able to stream it to family and friends
Loved that.
at home. Speaking of streaming, we're still streaming work from home.
Yeah, we're very privileged, still privileged to have our employment and be working from home in a smaller fucking apartment. Oh my God, the last time we recorded this podcast,
we still lived in Alki.
We lived in our old apartment, which was bigger. So if the acoustics sound different at all, we are in a new apartment. And we downsized, not thinking there would ever be a pandemic, not thinking we'd be working from home. So we have been on top of each other, but it's worked out.
Yeah, now we realize we need a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, we're not renewing our lease.
Yeah. I want to keep working from home, though. Like, I want to find my next job. I want to try to find remote jobs from now on.
Yeah, Mike's like, I'm never going back to an office.
I probably will, but, like, I enjoy not going into an office.
And you're still wearing your Seahawks sweats. Like, for anyone who's been following us on Instagram, we were doing outfit of the days in the beginning. Then, depression. We got super depressed and stopped. And I've been feeling better lately, so I have gone back to it. But Mike's wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Hair's longer.
Hair's much longer. We've both been, I think I've had the worst depression I've ever had. I've never been as depressed as I was in the middle of quarantine.
Same. I think the worst part of my depression for me was probably in May, end of May to through June until my birthday. And I think it was just the peak of a lot of the social justice uprisings and murders and protests. And it was just like a feeling of despair and hopelessness.
Yep. And I really have struggled with how to feel motivated. Why I get out of bed,
Yeah.
What do you want to do today? What's going to bring you joy today?
I think a good thing though has been having access to mental health resources in addition to friends and being able to talk to one another, being able to do some remote therapy sessions.
Yeah. I've been doing remote therapy with my therapist over the phone, video calls.
I think that the depression that we have felt has been something that a lot of people can relate to. And what has helped me is zooming out this year and realizing that there will be highs and lows. So when I was having low moments, I wasn't mad at myself for feeling depressed.
Yeah.
It's reminding myself none of this is normal. We're living through a pandemic on top. There's so much fucking shit going on right now that if the best you could do that day was wake up, brush your teeth, take a shower, that's a win.
Yeah, and I'm starting to be more honest with people too, at work when someone says, "Hey, how you doing?" And sometimes I'll just say, "I'm surviving, I think."
Yeah, and I've actually stopped asking people, "How are you doing?" I've started saying, "How are you managing your mental and emotional health this week? Do you feel as though you're hanging in there, or do you have the resources you need? Are you able to take time for yourself?" I've been trying to direct the conversation in a way that gets them to think about their emotional and mental health and answer it in a way where no one's doing good.
Yeah.
No one's fucking doing good.
Yeah,
so it's
no
acknowledging that. But yeah, I think being honest about it at work helped me a lot. Having a team that was supportive where when it was really hard, I was like, I need to take a week off work. I have unlimited PTO, another privilege, but being able to just say, I'm not doing well. And my output, my productivity is not going to be the same because I'm hurting in a different way, especially being one of the only Black people at my company and the only Black woman in my office. Even though like we're working from home now, it's like I think that I had the understanding of my team that the weight that I was feeling of everything was different than theirs as white people. They understood that this was hitting me a little differently, and I appreciated them acknowledging that in the way of giving me the space when I would articulate that I needed that space.
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, it's pretty critical right now to like when you're interacting with your coworkers to understand.
Read the fucking room.
People have like lives that are, you know, they're just stringing together right now.
Yeah, read the fucking Zoom room. It's not the time to tell everyone, Kim Kardashian, that you flew all of your close friends and family to the French Polynesian Islands.
I finished my master's.
Yes, Mike finished his master's. What was your master's in?
Nursing informatics.
What's the layman's terms for people who don't know what that is?
Basically, technology in healthcare.
Okay. I did not finish my master's because I never started one, but I refinanced my house. I'm happy that Mike is done with his master's because now he has more time to pay attention to me and you're not doing homework.
Yep.
But yeah, I refinanced my house, it took months, you know, but that was amazing to lower the payment. We've rediscovered some hobbies.
Yep. It's all about like that. What do you want to get excited for? I've really had to focus on giving myself things to be excited about.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll say this. You rediscovered your hobbies because school took up so much time for you.
Yeah, it was hard because school really killed most of my hobbies.
For me, it wasn't necessarily rediscovering my hobbies, but I was so sad and depressed at times that I had this creative block. And so for me, it was having to be okay that I'm not motivated to creatively work on anything. Mm-hmm. And as the pandemic has gone on, I think maybe towards like the end of summer, I started dipping my toe back into some creative projects and feeling like, oh, I have the bandwidth to even think about doing something creative. What else has been going on?
Well, I mean, it's...
With the recap.
Well, I think we have to talk about the election now.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing was that I finally stopped researching how the fuck do you move out of the U.S.
Yesterday, the press announced that Biden won, Trump lost. Granted that, you know, the official count has still got to be done. But now we've had our first day where we could wake up and we knew that Trump isn't going to be the president in 2 months.
We've had our first 24 hours. I woke up and Mike was already awake, but I woke up to our neighbors banging pots and pans and cheering.
And she jolted awake and says, "What happened?" And I said, "Trump lost." Which site do you need to see it on? Because, you know, the media has been all kinds of stuff. And so she was like, pull up NPR.
Honestly, I know people have been going to CNN, but like NPR is honestly the only place I've been getting my news all quarantine. It's just, I need it to be factual.
Yeah.
I don't need, NPR is like, you can strip away the personality and just give me the news.
So I think for the both of us, our first reaction to this is relief.
Yeah, it feels as though we have been in fight or flight for more than a year. I mean, his whole presidency, but the pandemic triggered it and took it to a different extent where you had to sit in the discomfort of all of the fucking chaos, having family members pass away, having people get sick, changing every aspect of your life. As we've said, we started off this podcast by saying we are on day 252 of quarantine. We have not been inside of people's homes like that. We're not going places. We're really going to like the grocery store. In the summer, we were able to get away with doing outdoor activities with friends, like going and floating at the beach or doing things that are outside. We're entering the gloomy, rainy, cold season in Seattle, and we're still wiping our groceries off. We're still quarantined at home. We're taking this seriously.
We thought about buying a Peloton.
We're
not
like
going to the gym.
We're on the fence about buying a Peloton. It's just the fact that like we live in a Cracker Jack box and it's just like one more fucking piece of clutter. So I don't know if I need my waistline more than I need the extra space in the house until we move.
Yeah, we might have to find a 2-bedroom before we introduce a stationary exercise bike.
Yes, more space. But more than that, it just felt like we were able to feel a sigh of relief. And I feel like my trauma response is starting to like exhale, and like the tension I've been carrying in my shoulders, I was able to just relax, not being terrified about what the future held.
Yeah. Because as we see now with the pandemic, if you have a scam artist as a president,
not even a good scam queen, there's not even a good scammer.
It puts your very bedrock of security, your whole economy, nation, the people around you, your communities, it puts them at risk to have a scam artist as the quote unquote leader of your community.
I mean, he got COVID. Everyone everyone at the fucking White House has gotten COVID. I've heard that there is a rat infestation as well as a fly problem in the White House. It's total chaos. The last 4 years with Trump have been horrible. People have died. It's been real life effects. The fact that over 70 million people voted for him, though, is, to me, as a Black woman living in this country with parents from the South, there's not a lot that stuns me about the country, but I think I kept hearing, oh, Biden is leading by over 4 million votes, and I didn't put it into context of how many votes there were, and seeing, 70 million people voted for Trump in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of his clear failures. It's just wild to me that there's that many people who are willing to steer us and like burn this whole place down. It's just wild. So yeah, that's a lot, but I'm still taking this moment to just appreciate that Trump is going to be fucking history soon. The representation of having Kamala Harris there is amazing. I don't expect her to be a savior as a Black woman. I don't expect her to be a savior. She represents to me progress and common sense, and just the fact that, like, looking at these images of little girls looking at the TV when they had their whatever the fuck you want to call it, their party, I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
But seeing all these little kids who are going to grow up with representation to that extent, it is so hopeful. Calling my mom and calling your mom on the phone and hearing how excited they are, it feels good. And for the first time I felt hope. I was trying to ask Mike, like, what is it when your body is constipated but it's so bad that you have to go to the hospital to get it like actually removed?
Fecal impaction. And
he told me, yes, it's called fecal impaction. Trump was my fecal impaction. And I honestly, the moment that Mike told me that Trump lost and then confirmed it by showing me NPR, I felt this weight lift. And this is going to sound so trivial, I was able to go online shopping and buy things. Like, I was able to like buy some sweaters and a cute pair of shoes and get my stuff from Sephora. And it feels like I'm able to like, there's like a future that I can dress cute for. It's been fucking shit for a lot of people, and we're still so privileged and blessed in the midst of it, and we've had a really hard time. And creatively, I feel like free. And you were mentioning that that's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, I mean, you need stability. You need your basic needs met before you can achieve your higher and a state of enlightenment, before you can achieve a state of like thinking about your self-purpose and what you want and being creative. You need to feel secure. And when you have a scam artist as your president, you don't feel secure, and you don't feel like your country has a future. Like we had a plan.
His foundation wasn't even secure. I didn't even trust his fucking makeup. Like, you can't trust anything about him.
We were talking about escape plans to get out of the country. Like,
yeah, it was real.
Yeah, it's very, very real.
Speaking of which, the election stress that I felt the last 3 weeks was probably the more intense anxiety. Like, I had really bad depression in May and June, heavy sadness. My anxiety about the election was completely different than my like mid-pandemic depression. And two things that really helped me to escape. Okay, one, I only went to NPR News, so that was like one way. But two shows that I never thought I would ever watch because I was adamant that I just didn't want to fucking watch them, even though they were like critically acclaimed. The Great British Bakeoff and The Bachelorette.
I pushed The Great British Bakeoff.
No, you didn't. Your mom and sister did. You hadn't really watched it.
But I mentioned it.
No, you didn't.
I mentioned it. And
Okay.
then you were like, do you really want to watch that show? And I said, it's pretty good. We could watch it.
I'm rolling my eyes. I'm going to give him this. It's been a hard year. You can have
The
this.
Bachelorette is all you. 100,000%.
That's me.
you.
So let's start with the Great British Bake Off. So so I haven't watched any of the other seasons. We're on the current season 8.
Yeah, we only watched the season that's happening right now.
Yeah, so we're watching it happening right now. It's on Netflix. I really like that it is weekly content, so I can't binge it. So it's really nice. But okay, so the reasons I didn't watch it before and that I didn't want to watch it is I think I tried watching an episode one time and it felt corny. I didn't understand British humor, and it just was like, it just requires you to sit still and watch them do things kind of slowly. And I don't know, I don't like watching movies anymore. I just don't want to fucking sit still that long. But it was so relaxing and refreshing to see people baking and taking their time and being kind.
Yeah, we used it as like a form of escapism from the anxiety of the election.
Yeah, I think the accents help to feel like far away. Oh, I think I maxed out on watching House Hunters International. I think I've binged all of the seasons, and I've only skipped the couples that didn't seem interesting. So I've watched almost all of them.
I believe that. But yeah. Great British Bake Off. It's good escapism.
So this
They're
is
nice
about to be
other.
a spoiler for the final 4. Is it down to 4 or 5?
I don't know.
I don't know. But who do you think's gonna win? Let's give our predict. Well, this isn't a spoiler. Who do you think is gonna win?
I think it's gonna be the young kid.
Pizza.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be maybe Peter. I think the final 3 will be Pizza, Hermione, and Mark.
Yeah.
I think that Hermione is classic perfection, simple but exquisitely executed. And Peter he actually executes really to a high degree. He's just a younger baker, and there's always just a little bit of,
it's a little less experience.
It's a little less experience, and you can see it, but he's so ambitious with what he goes for that when it's successful, it's great. And so I think it'll come down to those two. I could see it actually being Peter who wins it, only if Hermione doesn't think a little bit bolder for what she wants to try, because it's not, I don't want to say safe, but maybe it is safe for her. She knows what she does well, and she does it extremely well, and she's perfect with what she does, but she's never presented anything that was outside the box. She was going to do that one super depressing cake that was like a geisha that she kind of phoned it in at the end. But anyway, that's one show I've been watching. But the most important thing that we've started watching, which I never fucking thought I would ever watch, The Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette.
I'm just here for Claire. So this season of The Bachelorette, I had heard a lot of drama around it. And the amount of anxiety I had for the election hit a peak. And I was like, fuck it. Let's just watch this show. It's on Hulu. We're watching it the day after. We have no commercials. So it can't be that bad. First off, The Bachelorette is no better than 90 Day Fiancé. It's just 90 Day Fiancé for college-educated people with budget for veneer. It's like a better polished. The people just look better.
Yeah, I don't think the target audience is actually college-educated. I think it's the same audience as 90 Day. It's slightly different, but it's the same thing. It's just got a little bit extra smush on.
The difference with it is so let me not say it that way. I think The Bachelorette is more of an aspirational show where they want you to not the La Quinta Inn in Palm Springs. The
place looks nice.
Okay, Mike,
the El Presidente suite.
Mike is also the one who will never book us an Airbnb if it's over $115 a night. So
I've gone. It's 180 might have been my top.
Yeah, I know. So what I'm saying is that, yes, Mike would have loved to have booked us the El Presidente suite at La Quinta Inn in Palm Springs. But typically, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are filmed in these mansions with lighting and all this budget. And so we're watching a very pared down version of it. But I think all of it is fantasy, aspirational. It's kind of like Disney-ish, Disney princess-ish.
Yeah.
So I think
rose ceremonies.
Yeah, it's such a crock of shit. But I think that the way they polish it is they polish it to appeal to people who on the surface may not appeal to 90 Day Fiancé. You know, it's two different audiences that they're trying to appeal to. I think both shows are entertaining. But immediately when I watched it, I was like, this is also trash. Like, so let's get into it.
It's pure trash.
Claire Crawley's the Bachelorette. We went into this season not knowing anything about her, which, I mean, great. I could
There's
not
nothing
have.
to know. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to know anything.
You don't need to know anything. There's literally nothing to know. So
we don't know a single thing about any of these people's personal lives.
Well, true, but I Googled her after the first episode just to see, because it's like, oh, who was she before? They hinted at a few things, and so we found out a little bit about her. But then it's like, okay, they keep marketing her as the oldest Bachelorette. It's just like, okay, gosh, she's 39, like, and she's been in relationships. She's just not married right now. So anyway, we're watching the show. They're at the La Quinta Inn. They bring in all these fucking dudes. Immediately, I hated, let's see, I'm just going to start with who I hate. Yosef, happy he's gone. Him having to talk about how he was like, I can't believe you humiliated these guys and made them take off their clothes. It's just like, what? And then him being like, I think you're acting a little, what did he say? Like her anger problem or something, because she like told him to step the fuck up. And like, you know, come for her, like to try to like show interest in her, him keeping name dropping his daughter and that he left his daughter. You auditioned to be in a show and you elected to leave your daughter. Anyway, I hate him. He's gone.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Absolute trash.
I wonder though if they'll bring him back.
Never.
I wonder.
Never.
Though.
He's
Someone
not
said
even,
they might bring the old contestants back.
I would hope that he's not brought back because he was so misogynistic and cringy and disrespectful and unlikable. It's one thing to be quirky or just a little uptight. It's a different thing to be clearly misogynistic and hateful and have nothing redeeming about you.
I don't think the producers of The Bachelorette care about preserving the integrity of anything.
There's more interesting people than him. And he wasn't even like attractive. Like no. Bring back Minnie McConaughey.
You said he had nice bone structure.
I said he had bone structure that we could find with better teeth in LA. They're in Cali. You can find guys with as good of bone structure, if not better.
I can find that bone structure with better teeth.
Yeah, true. So anyway, bring back Minnie McConaughey. He was a little shiny for me. He needed a little bit of powder, but
Minnie McConaughey was the guy who told on Yosef.
yeah, because
right?
for talking to a few college girls in my town.
For DMing college girls that Minnie McConaughey knew.
Oh, God. The thing I liked about having a Bachelorette who's 39 is she really does know what she wants and what she doesn't want. And I think the difference between having maybe a Bachelorette who's in her 20s and still figuring that out versus a grown-ass woman who's like almost 40, by the time you're in your like almost 40 and you've dated and had relationship experience, you tend to know what you want and what you don't want.
So we basically spent 3 episodes watching Claire ignore 30 guys and become obsessed with Dale.
Yeah. Well, the moment she met Dale, she said, I felt electricity. I think I just met my husband. I would say I didn't get why she was so into him because they hadn't shown them interacting much. It was just like...
Well, they didn't interact much.
Maybe they interacted before the show in DMs.
Maybe, but she may have just been stalking his Instagram.
She was stalking his Instagram. Okay, this is when stalking someone goes well. It worked out for her. She literally had stalked him so much on Instagram. She felt as though she knew everything about his life based on what he's been posting. And she had this emotional connection to his Instagram persona. And it just so happened that he had interest in her enough to audition for a show where he can meet her in person. Let's talk about Blake. Which one is Blake? Blake is the one who has the puppy dog eyes / murdery eyes, who's always pouting.
He's the one who did DM her before the show. He DM'd
her before the show, and he did the research. He actually said, I researched dementia so that I could talk to her about it.
He felt
entitled.
He felt entitled to a real shot at Claire because
shot in quotes.
Because he researched dementia before meeting her.
He's like, I'm not just prepared, I'm also competitive.
I did the prerequisite reading. Did you?
He's like, Dale didn't even do the fucking research on dementia. He was so puppy dog. Oh, then there's the one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's the one who's like kind of looks like Blake, but he's the one who said he's never like opened up to anyone before. Miss me with that tired ass story of a man in his late 20s to mid 30s who has never opened up. Go to a fucking therapist. Don't take that broken ass package to a woman with no intent of doing the work for yourself and be like, fix me.
And then he was sad.
He had one date with her.
He was sad that she was choosing Dale because it was hard for him to open up on that one date. And he's been like hanging on to that one date since.
And they're the ones that had the date where it was like by the fire at night.
And they yelled at the mountain, you know, they yelled.
Yeah, he also seems like he's always a little drunk. He seems like he's on something.
Definitely.
He's like on one of those things that makes you feel like a little drowsy.
All I've been thinking about while watching the show is that if I was there, I think the only way I could get through it is if I was just drinking the whole time.
You'd be fine because you're such a jokester that you would have fun. It's a pandemic also. So they all are escaping their regular lives to at least be somewhere sunny with a pool.
Yeah, I
so
mean, Yosef left his daughter
Yes, Yosef left his daughter.
at home with strangers just so he could get naked and play dodgeball.
I think that you would have so much fun hanging out with other guys and just like having it be like more of a you're not a frat guy, but you're like a class clown. So I think you would have so much fun shooting the shit somewhere that's rent free.
I mean, the only way I would be able to mentally make it through something like that is if I didn't care about winning Claire.
Claire only wants Dale, so at a certain point you'd be like, oh, I'm not into her, so I'm just gonna have fun.
I would probably realize it, and then I would start having fun. Yeah.
You're also the guy who would pretend to care about losing football games in the locker room because everyone else cared so much, but you just wanted to have fun. So yeah, you would totally just want to have fun. What about the creepy guy who like she almost halfway kissed and then he didn't like kiss her and then he grabbed her a few times and then they sent him home?
Oh yeah, that was.
Forgot his name.
I forgot his name too.
We're not invested enough to know any of their names. Also, she's not invested enough to spend time with any of them, so I only know about Dale.
But that was like a real trigger warning.
That was creepy
moment for people.
It was. You said it was even difficult when you watched it.
Oh, it was hard to watch. Yeah, I mean, he was like forcefully grabbing her
a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so you said that you saw her look at the cameraman.
Yeah, you can actually see it when they're still in the pool and he first grabs her. You can see this look of terror come over her face really briefly, and she she did good. Not good. She realized that she's on camera and she kept face for the sake of the show.
No, she didn't. As a woman, that is not the face you keep for the sake of the camera.
No, yeah.
That's the face.
She didn't need to.
But that's the face that women make when they're trying to think about their safety and how to navigate a situation, not just navigate it being on camera.
You're right. Yeah.
Women have been in that position all the time, and you're thinking so quick where you're like, I need to actually get out of this situation, and you have to think about how to protect a man's ego because it literally can be your safety.
Yeah. So like I saw the
discomfort.
I saw the help me look on her face, and then she like found her own way to literally finesse her way out of his grip. But that just makes me think about that's happened billions of times.
It's happening right now. That happens to women all the time. Where you're in situations that where you feel relatively safe with someone, but you are just getting to know someone and something happens. And I would say that was a relatively benign situation they were in, where they're just having a good time. They both wanted to be there. You know what I mean? It was casual, but it immediately turned. And we did like play it back a few times and like zoom in, and she went in to kiss him and he didn't go forward. He like waited and it was awkward.
But then he felt like entitled to a kiss.
Oh, it was gross. Yeah. It was just like, dude, you got to go home.
I'm glad she sent him home. I'm glad
Chris Harris sent him home.
I'm glad that like they sent him home without.
Is it Chris Harris or Chris
without
Harrison?
Getting to even see Claire again, because like.
Well, she's said that she has like survived abusive relationships and it triggered her.
Yeah, and so she didn't owe him anything, and so like I'm glad that at least she.
Is his name Chris Harris or Chris Harrison?
I don't know.
I like him having to like deliver the news to these guys because Claire is so disinterested. Nothing will top her being like, I'm not giving any of you guys a rose tonight because none of you gave me what I needed. And by that, I mean, none of you told me why everyone was like making fun of Dale. That makes me think of Bennett. So Bennett went to Harvard. He looks like, what's that American Psycho movie? Yeah. I think
American Psycho.
He looks like American Psycho, which I'm happy Margaret Chose actually said that. She's like, you look like there would be a crime podcast about you. But him ripping on Dale was funny. Which is also what made her think, why is everyone making fun of Dale? Like, I fucked him already. Like, I don't get it. So that was interesting. So I like him. I like Easy. Dale, he's, you could tell they like each other, but they're proposed now. They're going to go off in the sunset together. They're still engaged, actually. I listened to the Bachelor Nation podcast interview they did.
It seems actually like it's probably genuine.
So, okay, where we are now. They are bringing in a new chick. Her name is Tasha. She is a black chick, and they're like, oh, you're a black bachelorette. All the guys, they gave them an option before knowing who the girl was. They're like, do you want to like leave? And a few of them, obviously Blake, are like, I just think I had so many feelings for Claire and I just don't know if I'll be able to like meet a new woman. It's like, dude, you spent 20 minutes with her and had no alone time. Like, it's okay, move on. So they bring in the new girl and they end the episode with us like with a cliffhanger teaser of, I don't know, will these guys be able to give me a chance? Or are they still hung up on this woman who, mind you, got engaged and fucking left the premises? Premises? How do you say it?
Premises?
It's been 252 days not really speaking to people.
I mean, you're not going to fool me with like, will these 30 men who all have TV aspirations shift their attention from a woman they didn't know to another woman they don't know?
That's why it's fun watching with you.
Find out next week if they can do it. Like, yeah, I think they can do it.
I like the one guy, and obviously I don't know any of their names. He was like, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to bring in like a couple of chicks for us?
I know, I love that. Are they going to, maybe they bring in like a bunch of girls for us.
I think that Anda said that's what Bachelor in Paradise is, where it's a bunch of them. And I actually think, so Anda is one of Mike's friends, and she is who I talk about this with because I don't think any of my friends watch The Bachelorette. But she was saying that this isn't the best season to start watching, like the franchise. But she said Bachelor in Paradise is kind of fun because they bring a bunch of people together. And I think I may like Bachelor in Paradise. Now that Trump is out of office, I don't know if my like sadness will linger where I want to like look at another one of the Bachelor shows. But so far, I'm committed to finishing this and at least seeing what happens. If anyone out there is watching this, let me know. If you're watching Bachelor in Paradise, let me know. Is there another season I should go back and watch? The thing that's been kind of cool is binging a bunch of content now. And Mike and I will live watch the show the day after it airs. We watch it on Hulu. So I think that's usually like Thursdays or Fridays. But basically, we watch it on Instagram stories and post it. And it's kind of fun because it's like watching it live with everyone. So if you're watching it, let me know. I'm part of Bachelor Nation.
Do we want to leave the episode with anything?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, I know what I'll say. I'm super excited about Kamala Harris. I'm super excited about AOC.
I'm really excited about AOC.
Yeah.
I am
Georgia.
Georgia has their runoff election coming up. And actually, this whole election really did inspire me. I've always voted, but this election inspired me to do even more and to see how I can help in ways that feel authentic to me. And, I think it takes everyone doing something. And there's so many things that can be done that there's space for all of us and there's room for everyone. So we're looking for ways that we can help the runoff election in Georgia because there is a real chance that they could flip the Senate. And if you've seen how dead Mitch McConnell looks, if we could just get that decrepit corpse one step further away from having power, it makes me excited. He looks gross. Does he have grayscale? Like, what's wrong with his skin?
I don't know. He's probably on blood thinners and he probably fell.
He's on uppers.
That's why he has bruises all over.
It's also 80 something. Oh, R.I.P. Alex Trebek, a good.
Oh my God, Alex Trebek died today.
Yeah, Jeopardy's your favorite show.
I love Jeopardy.
It's your favorite show. He's been the host since 1984, which is the year I was born, and so our entire lives he's been there. And just a good person. Oh, that's sad. Okay, sorry, I cut you off. You want to leave everyone with?
No, that's it. Politicians aren't celebrities. We got to hold them accountable. Joe Biden needs to be held accountable. Kamala Harris needs to be held accountable. AOC runs. I mean,
AOC. You loved Bernie, and AOC
I love Bernie.
is her mentor.
I love Bernie. I love AOC. Those are the only two politicians that do better than I expect them to do. Everyone else barely meets the bar.
And when we woke up and we're hearing the news about Joe Biden winning, you turned to me and what did you say?
I don't remember.
You said that you were so excited.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to get back to mistrusting and hating the government for what it is, and not just like this loud one person that, like Trump is the one thing you can put your sights on. But now we can turn our attention back to the entirety of the government. We're still in endless wars. The kids are still in the cages. There's a lot of work to be done, and I've enjoyed the relief, but we have to look ahead to what we have to do.
And I would say this is day one. This is I posted a really funny TikTok where it was like this, it was like a happy Katy Perry music playing, and then it was this black chick bending down, blowing a kiss to the camera, and the caption was like, white liberals going back to not caring about institutionalized racism. And it's like a joke, but it's funny, and there's truth to it. It reminds me of when Obama was elected, how people were like, oh, racism is over. And it's like, no. I think a lot of non-problematic white people are starting to feel a fraction of the mistrust and the uncertainty that a lot of people of color feel when you don't really know which white people can be problematic versus which ones are not. And I think that you even experience looking at your life and having to question people and their motives and their energy, and having this real desire for everyone to be better. So I think it's important for us to remember that we have voted in elected officials to do a job, and it is on us to hold them accountable and to continue making sure that they represent the needs of the majority of the people in this country for the better. And this is just day one. I hope we all can keep this energized focus on progress, and knowing that it takes work and it's exhausting and we're in this together. But it's okay to celebrate this moment. It's okay to still celebrate this moment and allow yourself to exhale and to feel a little bit more joy. We're still in a fucking pandemic. It's still fucking insane right now. So we have a long way to go, but it feels like we have a future. And for that, I'm excited. And I don't think any Trump supporters or Trump sympathizers deserve a fucking shred of grace. I don't think they deserve anything. And I think that all of the progress everyone else wants, they will benefit from. I'm not gonna give them anything. I don't have a fucking thing for them. The way that they've acted, the way that the real life things that have happened with them, I see some people wanting to have grace and, oh, this is my neighbor. Fuck that shit. Nah, miss me with that.
Yep.
Yeah, so
well said.
We're going to end this episode with you about to lose your job. Oh, you lost it.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job.